And for me, it's great to be back in Nigeria. I mentioned to the president, actually, this is my third visit as Secretary of State, because one of the very first things I did as Secretary was to visit Nigeria virtually. Remember the days when we weren't traveling because of COVID, but one of the first things that we did do was organize a virtual visit here to Nigeria. Then I came here the following year, and it's very good to be back here today. At the UN General Assembly just this past September, President Tinubu said, and I quote, "Africa is nothing less than the key to the world's future." I'm here at Nigeria at President Biden's behest, and earlier this week we were in Cabo Verde, in Cote d'Ivoire, and we'll be going on to Angola because we share that conviction. Africa has shaped our past, it is shaping the present, it will shape our future. The United States is committed to strengthening genuine partnerships on the continent to work to solve shared challenges and also to deliver on the promise and the fundamental aspirations of our peoples. Nigeria, as Africa's largest country, largest economy, largest democracy, is essential to that effort. And we are doing a lot of work together already to drive in a positive direction. We're driving climate action as partners in the Global Methane Coalition. We're pushing for permanent representation for African voices in the UN Security Council, in other international organizations that need to reflect the realities of today, not just the day that they were created many, many years ago. We're working and collaborating to support the development and use of artificial intelligence for good. With 30 other Atlantic countries, we're driving blue economic development, environmental protection, science and technology exchange through a new partnership for Atlantic cooperation. Today, as the Foreign Minister mentioned, with President Tinubu, with the Foreign Minister and other colleagues, we spoke about a range of common priorities, including our focus on accelerating economic growth and opportunity here in Nigeria. This is a place of extraordinary innovation, extraordinary dynamism. I've had the opportunity to visit many times over the years. I've seen that each and every time, and I expect to see more of that in Lagos tomorrow. American entrepreneurs, American companies are eager to partner with and invest in Nigeria's economy, particularly in the tech sector. We have tech giants that are teamed up with Nigerian partners to help meet President Tinubu's 1 million digital jobs initiative. Other companies are hard at work laying undersea cables, using satellite technology to expand access to the internet. Our tech incubators are fostering Nigeria's next startups. Our venture capital companies are working to finance them. So we want to work in partnership to help drive Nigeria's technological revolution, which is creating jobs, it's growing businesses, and it's spurring innovations in both of our countries. Because one of the things we've learned from these partnerships is that it benefits us as much as any place or any company that we're investing in. We're learning a lot from it, we're getting a lot from it. And one of the initiatives that President Biden laid out, the Digital Transformation with Africa initiative, we see as particularly energized, and it's a particular area of focus for us. Now, Nigeria offers real, clear, compelling opportunities for investors. At the same time, I think it's no secret that there remain some long-term challenges that need to be overcome to really unlock the full potential. Tackling corruption, making it easier for foreign companies to repatriate capital, these will all pull in a transformative direction and pull in transformative investment. I know that President Tinubu is focused on these challenges, and we also welcome his very bold economic reforms to unify the currency and fuel subsidies. We also recognize that in the short term, these reforms have created pain for vulnerable communities. I spoke about some ways that the United States can support Nigerians while the government carries out these essential reforms and works to protect those who may, again, in the short term, be negatively affected. We also discussed our very consequential work on public health, something that the Minister mentioned. One of the things I must say as an American I'm proudest of is PEPFAR, initiated by President Bush, carried on by successive presidents of both parties. Over the last 20 years, PEPFAR has saved well over 20 million lives and changed for the better many more. Over the last 20 years, we've invested $8.3 billion in HIV and tuberculosis prevention, care and treatment, and in strengthening the public health system, reaching millions of Nigerians. And that effort will continue. Our partnership is also strengthening Nigerian institutions to innovate and lead the region's public health response. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, we'll be in Lagos. I'll get a chance to visit the Institute of Medical Research here in Nigeria to learn more about the achievements that the government has made to respond to HIV, to respond to COVID-19, to respond to tuberculosis, to respond to other infectious diseases. With assistance that was provided through the PEPFAR platform, our U.S. Agency for International Development as well, and the Centers for Disease Control, and the U.S. National Institutes for Health, the NIMR has developed world-class laboratories that are making significant differences in Nigeria's work to detect and to combat disease. On security, which we also discussed at some length, the United States is determined to be and remain a strong security partner for Nigeria. I want to extend the condolences of the American people to all Nigerians who were affected by the horrific attacks over the Christmas weekend. We mourn their loss and all killed in recent attacks, including, by the way, staff from our United States mission, locally employed staff and 4 police officers who were killed in Anambra last May. As I told the President and the Foreign Minister, the United States will support Nigeria as it works to bring about a more secure, a more peaceful, and a more prosperous future for its people. Fundamental to this outcome is an investment in the foundations of an inclusive democratic society, a focus on equal opportunity for all, regardless of ethnicity, religion, or any other group distinction. That helps build the social cohesion that also deters banditry, deters terrorism, deters violent extremism. I also shared how our own experience in combating terrorism around the world over more than 20 years has highlighted just how important civilian security, human rights, and accountability are to achieving genuine and enduring security. We've had to learn our lessons in doing this, and it's important to us to share our own experience with our friends and partners. We also discussed challenges to democracy and security in West Africa. We very much appreciate Nigeria's leadership in ECOWAS to try to move to a return to the constitutional order and democracy in Niger after it's been disrupted. And we talked about building on the important summit that President Tinubu shared in December to try to see Niger get back onto the constitutional path. Many other things that we covered in the conversations we had, as the Minister mentioned, we have our Binational Commission meeting in a very short time to focus both on bilateral issues between us, but also to focus on our common regional and global agenda, because one of the hallmarks, I think, of the relationship between our countries is that increasingly not only are we focused on our bilateral work, but also on regional and indeed global challenges. And that's a source of great strength, I believe, for both our countries. This is an incredibly dynamic and consequential time for our partnership. I'm grateful to the Foreign Minister and to President Tinubu for the opportunity to be here in Nigeria. Thank you.